What's going on, everybody? This is Nazdarachi back again with another update for Final Fantasy Record Keeper. They do have a new event that just launched. It is a Final Fantasy 1 event called The Dawn of a Legend. It is mainly focused around the Master, Matoya, obviously the Warrior of Light, and a little bit of love for Garland and Sarah as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out the Banner 1 Relic draw first and foremost, and kind of break that down in detail for you guys. And from there, we're just going to briefly look at the dungeons. I haven't touched a single one of them yet, but we're just going to kind of look at what's available. It is fairly standard, so first and foremost, let's check out this Banner 1 draw here. So we're here in the Relic draw. So, what are the odds? So the odds of drawing a 6-star Overstrike Sword for the Warrior of Light in this event are 2%. The odds of drawing a 5-star item are about 18%. The odds of drawing a 4-star item are going to be about 28%. And a 3-star item are going to be about 52%. Now, to specifically get into the items here, your first item here is going to be the Excalibur Sword. It is a 6-star Overstrike weapon for the Warrior of Light. Your odds of drawing this sword are going to be about 1.89%. It has a bonus effect of adding a small boost to holy damage. There's no synergy required. And it has a nice 168 attack. It's going to be fairly good. It's definitely the best weapon you could possibly get out of this draw, stat-wise. Your Overstrike is going to be the Shining Saber. Deal massive physical, holy, and non-elemental damage to one target. Deals more damage for each attack the user has taken, and can break the damage cap. So this is similar to Orlando's, except for instead of holy and physical, Orlando's is holy and lightning. As well, a major difference is this deals more damage for each attack the user has taken. So during battle, there's going to be some type of counter that's going to register, and that's going to increase the base damage stat when you go to use your Overstrike Soul Break here. So moving forward, we have the Light Robe. It's a burst Soul Break for Sarah. Bonus effect adds a small boost to holy damage, no synergy required. 90 defense, 138 resistance, so pretty consistent with good caster items that have lower defense and higher resistance generally. I don't actually have any stats listed on what the percent chance is to draw this item, so we're going to skip that. The Burst Soul Break is Age-Old Hymn. Restore a moderate amount of HP to all allies. Enable each ally to avoid one magic attack. Temporarily raise the user's mind a moderate amount, and resistance a small amount, and grant haste and burst mode to the user. So that's fairly standard. She is leaning definitely towards being a white mage, obviously with raising the mind, and the burst abilities are both healing. Your Inviolate Prayer is instantly restore a large amount of HP to one ally and grant them major regen, and Simple Plea, restore a small amount of HP to all allies. Sarah's obviously not the best white mage in the game, but this will be a good white mage, either A, if you don't already have one, or B, if you were just going for dungeon synergy and you happen to be able to use her as your white mage. So decent white mage light robe armor here. Next item is going to be Burst Soul Break Steel Gloves for the Master. No bonus effect. Your percent chance of getting this item is around 1.89% as well. So very, very close to the odds of getting the Overstrike weapon. 134 attack, so definitely lower here. It's going to be Monk class, this guy. So fist weapon. Your Burst Soul Break is your Show of Courage. Deal 10 physical attacks to one target. Temporarily raise the user's crit chance a large amount and grant Last Stand, Haste, and Burst mode to the user. Similar to Edge's Soul Break, but instead you get a large increase to your crit chance instead of the physical blink. As well, this is a burst instead of a super, but your burst abilities here are Storm and Strife. Monk ability, deal 4 physical attacks to one target. If the user has Unbound Fury, deal 8 attacks instead. Bitter Blow, deal 4 physical attacks to one target. Temporarily lower the user's defense and resistance a large amount, and grant Unbound Fury to the user, reducing the delay of the user's actions. This is similar to Golbez and Yuna's burst mode, where one of the abilities should be used and it's going to put a mark on you that enhances your other ability, as well as reducing the delay of the user's actions. But it does kind of make you a weaker target by lowering your defense and resistance a large amount. So that is something to consider. But all in all, it's pretty decent mechanics to it for a monk item. Definitely will help you synergize to get through this dungeon here. Your next item is Armor, the Moment of Clarity Super Soul Break, armor for the Master. Your percent chance of drawing the Survival Vest is as well 1.89% roughly. Defense and resistance are pretty well rounded. For light armor, that's fairly standard, and it also grants you 17 attack, which is fairly cool. No bonus effect or synergy. Moment of Clarity is your Super Soul Break. Deal 8 physical attacks to one target. Temporarily raise the user's attack a moderate amount and defense a small amount, and remove the delay from the user's attacks for 2 turns. So you will probably end up using the Soul Break more frequently on the weapon than you will use this Super Soul Break, but this is a good item to have. You know, if you don't get the weapon, then this will definitely have some usability if you're going with this guy. Not terrible, but nothing too crazy. Your next item is a Super Soul Break Sword for the Warrior of Light, so in case you happen to not get the Overstrike weapon, you'll have a secondary chance to get something cool here for him. Attack 126, so definitely a lot lower than the Overstrike Sword, but it's still not terrible, and it does give you a physical blink. So comboing this with the Burst Soul Break that Sarah has, you will have a physical blink and a magic blink, both coming out of this one banner draw. No bonus effects on this weapon here, and you have a 3.77% chance to draw this item in the draw here. So yeah, pretty basic, nothing too crazy. Moving forward, we have the Soul Render for Garland here, Super Soul Break Sword. Attack 125, starting to drop down here a little bit, but it does have a constantly active bonus effect of giving a small boost to dark damage. So you don't need to have any synergies. This guy will synergize pretty well if you are building a dark themed team for an enemy weak to dark, especially if you can combo him with Fusoya's Super Soul Break to lower their dark resistance and some other dark characters as well. This could end up being a pretty decent item. Super Soul Break Chaos Bringer, deal 4 physical dark attacks to random targets, healing the user for a portion of the damage dealt. So really it's nothing crazy by itself, but if you are building a dark themed team, this could be a pretty good addition to the team. You have a 3.77% chance to pull this sword from your drop as well. Next we got the Super Soul Break Arc Slash. This is the Bank Blade for Wall. 126 attack, so pretty standard with all the other Super Soul Break items. Arc Slash, deal 4 physical attacks to all targets and temporarily lower their attack and magic a large amount. Again, this by itself is not terribly crazy, but if you combo that with, some other buffs from your team, like Stone Skin 2 or Sentinel's Grimoire, any type of wall effect, this will additionally lower the attack and magic of the enemies, making them even weaker, so in theory this definitely helps with some sustainability here if you team it up properly. Let's see, the Arc Bank Blade, you have about a 5.66% chance to draw this item in this relic draw. Next we have the Helm of Light. It's armor for the Warrior of Light, so a good item to keep him well rounded and fully equipped here. It also boosts attack. The stats are fairly decent, nothing terribly crazy. The resistance is a little low, but we are dropping in quality as well, dropping down to unique soul breaks, crossover, deal 4 physical holy attacks to one target, and temporarily raise the user's resistance a large amount. Obviously this is nothing crazy, it's just a unique soul break, but it is usable if you happen to use Warrior of Light and didn't get either of his weapons. It'll still be better than his default soul break. Your percent chance to get this, I do not have listed, so I would assume it's higher than some of the more rare items though, so probably above 5.5%. So next, we got the Dark Plate for Garland, armor to keep him well-rounded here as well. Also gives you 17 attack. The defense is higher than the Warrior of Light's armor, but the resistance is lower. You also get another constant bonus effect with no synergy required, resistance to dark damage. So it could potentially be useful if you're facing an enemy like the Dark Knight Cecil Ultimate Dungeon from the last event. Unique Soul Break, nothing crazy. Deal 3 range physical dark attacks to all targets and temporarily lower their resistance to dark. Could potentially have some use if it stacks with Fusoya's Super Soul Break, but ideally you're going to want to have his weapon and be using that Super Soul Break instead. I do not have a percent chance for this item either, but again, since it's unique Soul Break, I would wager that it's probably above 5.5%. And that's everything for the Relic draw on Banner 1, you guys. We've covered all of it. I am not going to draw anything from this banner yet. I'm going to wait and see what the second banner has available before I decide what to draw, because I don't really have any Final Fantasy 1 characters that are synergized or leveled anyway, so I'm going to save my Mithril and start saving all my resources for the anniversary event, and as well, I believe 2 events from now there should be a Final Fantasy 7 event, so I'm definitely starting to save up for that. So just briefly going through the actual dungeons here and the events, they added the new multiplayer experience from Final Fantasy 1, so you do have the Lich here to fight. He's not terribly difficult. I think he's a lower difficulty conquest. So Rubicant was your last one, and he was 160, 200, and the Lich here, yeah, is 80 and 120. So lower level players will be able to take advantage of this and get some motes. So they added that, and as well, they added double Gishel greens on daily dungeons, so don't forget about that down here. You do get 2 times your Gishel greens for doing those. And just briefly running through this here, fairly standard. You'll unlock all the relevant characters that have items in the banner draw, except for Matoya here. He didn't really get any love. So I'm assuming he's going to get some items in Banner 2 when that comes in a few days from now. And Elite Dungeons, pretty straightforward as well. You'll get your memory load crystals and then the rank 2s, and it ends at 120. So, you guys, that's everything that they've released so far for this event here, the Dawn of a Legend. I hope you liked my little overview here of the new Dawn of a Legend event and the Banner 1 relic items. Definitely will have more content coming when Banner 2 drops and the Ultimate and Plus difficulty dungeons get released. So until next time, you guys have a great evening, and I will talk to y'all soon. Later.